Oliver twists the chessboard struggle of innocence and corruption. In Oliver Twist, the chessboard represents the battle between innocence and corruption, virtue and vice. As young Oliver navigates a world fraught with danger and deception, each piece represents a character or force. And the movements mirror Oliver's journey through the streets of London, the schemes of criminals and the kindness of unlikely allies. The game begins with Oliver thrust into a harsh, unforgiving world, symbolized by a tumultuous opening. As the game progresses, Oliver's allies white strive to protect him while his adversaries black seek to exploit or harm him. The goal is to safeguard Oliver the White King while dismantling the oppressive forces of Fagin and his gang. The opening, the Orphan's Plight. 45. White Oliver and his protectors opens with a bold but exposed move, reflecting Oliver's entry into the world. He is vulnerable yet significant, taking his first steps into an unknown and dangerous environment. Black Fagin and his schemes responds aggressively, symbolizing the immediate threats and obstacles facing Oliver. F3 and C6. White's knight in F3 represents Oliver's early innocence and moral compass, tentatively exploring the world. Black's knight in C6 counters, symbolizing Fagin's manipulative reach, as he begins to draw Oliver into his web of crime. D4 ex D4. White sacrifices a pawn. D4, reflecting Oliver's early suffering and loss, his escape from the workhouse and subsequent hardships. Black takes the pawn. Ex D4, representing the exploitation and cruelty Oliver endures. The mid-game, the struggle between good and evil. As the game unfolds, the board becomes a complex battlefield of alliances and betrayals. Oliver's protectors fight to shield him from harm, while his adversaries seek to manipulate or destroy him. BC4 BC5. White's bishop BC4 symbolizes Mr. Brownlow and the forces of compassion entering the fray, offering hope and guidance to Oliver. Black's bishop BC5 mirrors Fagin's cunning and persistence, plotting to keep Oliver under his influence. D6. White castles 00, representing the moment Oliver finds temporary safety and support in Brownlow's home. Black's pawn D6 represents the constant undercurrent of danger and Fagin's schemes lurking in the background. 1 rupee BG4. White's rook 1 rupee moves into a position of strength, reflecting Oliver's growing sense of identity and moral clarity. Black's bishop BG4 symbolizes Bill Sikes, whose menacing presence looms large over Oliver's life, representing the darkest aspects of his adversaries. The endgame, the triumph of virtue. The final moves of the game bring resolution, as the forces of good rally to protect Oliver and dismantle the criminal network that has ensnared him. H3 BXF3. White's pawn H3 attacks, symbolizing the exposure of Fagin's schemes. Black's bishop captures BXF3, representing a moment of apparent triumph for the villains, as Sikes and Fagin momentarily seem to gain the upper hand. QXF3 QE7. White's queen QXF3 moves decisively, symbolizing Nancy's courageous decision to protect Oliver, even at great personal risk. Black's queen QE7 reflects Fagin's desperate attempts to regain control of the situation. Rad 1 Rad 8. Both sides bring their rooks into the fray, symbolizing the final confrontation between Oliver's allies Law and Compassion and the forces of criminality and greed. Q3 QF6. White's queen QG3 positions herself for a decisive strike, reflecting the moral victory as the truth about Oliver's parentage and identity comes to light. Black's queen QF6 is forced into a defensive position, representing the weakening grip of Fagin and Sikes on the narrative. QG6 HXG6. White's queen QG6 delivers a decisive blow, representing Oliver's ultimate triumph as justice is served. The capture of the queen signals the unraveling of the villain's plans. X8. White's rook RxD8 delivers checkmate, symbolizing the final resolution. Fagin's capture, Sikes' downfall, and Oliver's safe passage to a life of dignity and security.